Hi everyone, so this week's pillar is inspired gratitude, and I have Joe here with me today. I'll let him introduce himself to you in just a moment, but I'm just going to ask him a few questions and get him to share a few things with you about his experience with gratitude and how it's transformed his life. So over to you, Joe.
Hi, I'm Joe Figliano. I have a coaching program around self-healing, and the business is called The Power Within, and I'm really grateful to be here today.
Thank you very much. I'm really happy to have you here as well. So the first question I have is, what was it that led you to gratitude? So what was the journey that led you to start using gratitude practices and how it transformed your life?
Yeah, well, it was actually through probably my darkest time in my life when I was experiencing major health issues. I had Crohn's disease, and I had it for about 10 years. And, it included experiencing a lot of pain and, intestinal problems, and sleepless nights, stress, anxiety, depression. A lot of that was happening around me. That was kind of my world. And through that, I reached a point where I had enough. I had enough of. It's an inflammatory bowel disease. I had enough of it. I was told by doctors that I couldn't get rid of it. I'll have it for the rest of my life. I was told that I was high risk of bowel cancer. I was told that they're saying that I needed surgery so I can carry a bag around till I go to the bathroom in, and I had reached my lowest point really in how I felt about myself and my life. And through that, I started thinking, eventually through the darkest of darkness, I started seeing some light, because I started looking at, what it is that is good in my life. So what is it that I actually appreciate in my life, and even no matter how small it is. And then I started thinking about, what I am grateful for. So I started to shift from being so much in that negative thinking place, woe is me, to, well, I'm grateful for this in my life. So that's when it all began.
Yeah, that's amazing. I think that that's a really amazing place for you to start, I guess, changing things in your life. What was the greatest experience or experiences that you had after that, after you started a gratitude practice? What were the biggest transforming experiences, and how did that influence your life?
Well, following on from that, so I started practicing gratitude on a daily basis. So it wasn't just when I was at my darkest. Like once I started that, it was small steps, So I would say little things that I'm grateful for, and then I'll increase that every day, and I'd look for different things every day. Usually in the mornings for me, I'd wake up and say, I'm grateful for the fact that I can see. I'm grateful for my clothes. I'm grateful for having a roof over my head. I look outside. I'm grateful for the sun. I'd go for a walk outside. I'd sit down in the grass. I'm grateful for this blade of grass. I'm grateful for you. I'd talk to the grass. So, and that slowly started. I started doing more and more of that every single day. In the mornings. Some days I might miss them because I don't know. I'll just keep going. But sometimes I'd remind myself throughout the day. What I'm grateful for. And so I slowly started developing a mindset of gratitude. I would say thank you to God. I would say thank you to the universe. Thank you to myself. As well. So some mornings I'd say thank you for the fact that I'm alive and breathing. Thank you for my health today. Even though I've been in pain because of my health, I would still be grateful for the fact that I was healthy enough to go and get myself a drink of water. I was healthy enough to go for a walk outside. I was healthy enough to spend time with people that I love. So therefore I'm grateful for my health. And I just kept saying, and I'll say thank you, every day, and I'm grateful. And over time, that helped me to get to a better place for myself with my health, eventually I became completely symptom-free 18 months later. So that Crohn's disease that I had, that disease that I was told that I was going to have for the rest of my life, I got to a point where I actually felt like it was completely gone. And now it's been 8 years, I've been completely symptom-free. It's as if I never had it to begin with. Now, yeah, so now it wasn't just gratitude that did that. You know, I worked on myself spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically as well. But gratitude was probably the most important place that I started for myself on my healing journey. It was a great start.
Starting with your mind.
So sorry?
Starting with your mind.
Yes, that's right. So, and I've learned the reasons why that's worked now, because now that's why I do what I do. You know, I've studied and researched it, and it actually trains the unconscious mind to focus on more positive things in your life. All right. And what happens is when we start to focus on more positive things in our lives, more positive things tend to occur in our lives. You know, because our unconscious mind is then shifting the way that we look at things. So instead of continuously looking at in one particular window in this angle, our perspective starts to change, and we can see things that we may not have been able to see before, which is quite amazing. And it also, for me, it also trained my unconscious mind to bring more health into my body by me saying, you know, thank you, God, for my health. You know, and I would not only say, I would also feel it, imagine that feeling of health while I would say it sometimes, you know. Sometimes it was difficult, but I'd still say it anyway. And some other times I'd be able to feel what would it feel like to be healthy. And I'd say, thank you for that. And that would start training my brain to, you know, help my body, which is quite amazing.
Yeah, that is actually quite amazing. So my next question would be, what would you recommend to other people for them on their in their lives for them to start taking a gratitude practice? How would you suggest they start doing this?
Well, if you're not used to practicing gratitude regularly, or if you do, but you'd like to take it to the next level and in a way so it can bring more magic in your life, like it did for me, for example. That was only one of many examples, by the way, but that was my greatest one. I would suggest that you start by writing down 3 things daily that you are grateful for, and you write it in a way that's going to retrain the brain. So you would say, I am grateful for, and then you write what it is that you're grateful for, and it can be anything. It could be anything small, big, doesn't matter what it is. And then after that, you write the reason why. So you write because. So for example, for me, I would say, I am grateful for my health because I am alive and breathing and walking. I am not terminally ill. I'm not about to die. I'm still alive. I'm grateful for my health because I can go and go for a walk outside and enjoy myself. So writing down what you're grateful for and the reasons why every day, write down 3 sentences every single day, I think can really go a long way. And the other thing that I'd like to mention is that not to really don't do it out of expectation. You know, think of doing it because you're really feeling it. So get into your heart and listen to what your heart has to say about what you're really feeling when it comes to what you're grateful for in your life. And when you start feeling it from your body as to what you're grateful for, then that's authentic and that's real, and you're not really expecting anything in return for that. And by doing, that's when the magic happens, when you're not expecting it, when you're being true and authentic when you're saying that. And so, yeah, I think that's really important. Yeah.
Terrific. Yeah, I totally agree. The last question is just to see if there was anything else you wanted to share with us about gratitude.
Yeah.
Experience of gratitude.
Yeah. So, well, for me, nature worked really well. Getting into nature, I think it's conducive to gratitude. You can be. For me, it was going to the beach or even just being in the bush and just thinking about what I'm grateful for in my life. Works really well for me.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Not just to say what you're grateful for in terms of what you have in your life, but also just to be grateful in the moment. And in that moment, you can be aware of what's happening and experience gratitude in that. So it can be anything. Like, for example, when I eat, many times when I eat now, I look at what is good about the food that I'm eating, you know. So it can be nutrition, it can be the taste of it, it can be just the enjoyment and being grateful for what I'm experiencing in that moment. It can be a connected conversation. You know, for example, for me right now, I'm grateful that I'm communicating with you in this fashion. You know, I really enjoy it. So I'm grateful for that. But also the other thing is, it's not just about being grateful when your things are down. It's also being grateful when things are up. So you might be in dire straits, and then you can find something that you're grateful for. I'm grateful that I'm alive and breathing, you know. So, or you might be experiencing, you know, so much joy because of a particular moment or success in your life, and just being grateful for that experience is also important, you know, to the point where I'm grateful that I have this particular adventure and experience in my life right now. So it doesn't matter where you are, you know, with the ups or the downs, you know, because life is just a bunch of ups and downs, right? It's about having that gratitude for those moments, and having gratitude for the flow of life as well is also, I think, a great thing. So I think that's plenty.
Yeah, that was amazing. Thank you so much for chatting with me today and sharing your experience. It's been a pleasure. So thank you, guys. And this will be an amazing, inspiring gratitude week for you all. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Peace, love, and light.
You're welcome, and I'm grateful to be sharing my experiences with you. And have a beautiful week. Peace and love.